Welcome to Short and to the Point, a podcast from the Comeback in Awful Announcing. Here's your host, Jessica Kleinschmidt.
Welcome back to Short and to the Point here on Awful Announcing and the Comeback. Really excited to have you guys here today. Been a busy one. I'm on my fourth cup of coffee, so we don't really know which Jess we're going to get today, but cross your fingers. One of mine being broken, as you can see. That's okay. We're pushing through. Really excited about today's guest in today's episode because, y'all, I grew up the biggest WWE fan. I did take a break from it as time went on, but I did the SmackDown thing to the point where I was acting out some of these things at school, which you shouldn't be doing. You can't be doing road dog moves in sixth grade because the principal will find out. I wanted to be Undertaker when I grew up so badly, and not just because it takes him 15 minutes to make an entrance and the guy knows how to put eyeliner on very well, but because of how captivating he was with the audience, and fell in love with the storylines. I'm still living and dealing with Triple H and Undertaker and Mick Foley and all of these guys, Stone Cold Steve Austin. How could you not? Practiced my eyebrow by The Rock when I was a little kid. I still do it really well too. And I should, because these eyebrows were expensive. But my guest today is the one and only Raquel Rodriguez. Instantly became a fan of hers. Of course, she'll be facing Rhea Ripley in the Women's World Championship at WWE Payback. You can tune in on Peacock. And y'all, she is ready. She is more than ready. These two, of course, have a long history together from their time with NXT. And now they're battling up against one another. And Raquel herself said Ripley's changed a lot since those two were not only close at NXT, but, were competitors in the gym and cheering one another on. And so we go over how not only she's ready for this match, but the fact that everything leading up to the time at NXT, even before that, has prepared her for this match. So I'm really looking forward to that. So without further ado, here's my chat with Raquel. Raquel Rodriguez joins me today here on Short and to the Point. Raquel, thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Jessica. I'm very excited to be on Short and to the Point. This is a first.
Yeah, hopefully not the last, because I know for a fact we're going to love each other after this. But, you're now medically cleared heading into your match this weekend there on WWE Payback. So between that, the history between you and Ripley, tell me a little bit about how you're feeling heading into that match this weekend.
Oh, there are so many emotions that are going through me leading up to this weekend. There's a lot of anger and I guess pent up aggression from her hurting Liv, hurting me, causing us to lose our tag titles. But I'm trying really hard to kind of harness all of that angry energy and contain it, because I know that, Rhea's got the numbers game on me right now. She has her tricks, and she's become a different Rhea from the one that I started with at the PC. So I have to keep my head on a swivel this weekend. I got to be ready for anything.
And tell me about that, because y'all do have quite a history together. Do you still have the same matching tattoos that y'all got?
We do. Yeah, it's a little we have these matching tattoos. We have a couple that we went and got together. It was just, we started at the PC and we were both kind of these lost, I guess, just from the group of the women's division. We didn't know where we kind of fit in. We didn't know where we belonged. So we kind of struggled a lot when it came to showing what we could do and what we could provide to NXT. So we kind of bonded in that sense. And then we bonded in the gym too, because we were both lifting so much weight. It became that friendly competition that you just love to have when you have a gym partner. Whenever we would go work out, she would push me to lift more. And I think I would give her that same energy. So we have a long history together, a really long history together. And we had our little rivalry in NXT. And then things kind of changed when she got called up to Raw. And we kind of built back our friendship. And then things have been a little different since she's joined Judgment Day. I haven't seen her as much. I haven't talked to her a lot. And just, her overall attitude has been not the same Rhea that I once knew. That's for sure.
Definitely. And but it's kind of been interesting to watch you guys, not just together, but individually grow. And I know you've had different characters and you've grown into them and figuring all of that out. But I thought it was really cool. Something that is very different about you is the fact that you are different and you're authentic. So what's that kind of been like? Because I know that's important to you to stay true to who you are and your character, but then developing your new character as well. You're still Raquel and you're still maintaining who you are. Why is that important to you?
I think it's important to me because I felt the shift in my own confidence when I started to just embrace who I am and what I look like. I am bigger than a lot of women. I am taller, I'm wider, I'm heavier, I'm all the things. And so for a long time when I was a little girl, it was hard for me to adjust to that because, you know, it was so hard to find clothes that fit me. I was having to shop in the boys section for shoes if I wanted age appropriate clothing. I was wearing overalls all the time because I was just growing out of my pants, like just high waters all the time. So I struggled a lot with confidence when I was growing up, and this kind of embracing my size and showing off my embrace myself pretty much. And I think that's important. I want little girls and I want people everywhere to embrace what they have been given and really just love.
Okay. So you talk about like how, you know, as women, we know what our bodies look like, what society says they should look like, but you were embracing it. Was that early or easy for you to do early on as far as embracing your body compared to what everybody else was going on? I know your dad was a wrestler. I know he wasn't exactly keen on you pursuing that dream. So what was that like? Was it easy for you to embrace?
It was a little difficult for me to embrace just because I was so hard on myself. I think I wanted to fit in so bad that I, you know, kind of was harsh on myself a little bit too much. But I just really tried to focus all of my energy and all of my attention into sports. And when my dad told me as a young girl, no, you're not going to be a wrestler, because it was a different time for women, obviously, at that time. I don't think any father wants to see their little girl having, you know, a bikinis match in mud. So he was like, you know, focus on something else, focus on going to college, getting a diploma. So I put all of my energy into sports. I focused on that. I tried really hard not to just focus on what I was looking like and more about what I was doing and how I was performing and what I could do to get to the next level. And it was literally my life. You know, I would wake up, I'd eat, I'd play basketball, I'd go to sleep, I'd repeat every day. No social life whatsoever. But it was worth it all in the end because I gained so much experience from playing basketball in high school and in college. Being a part of a team is so important, I think, for character development. You learn so much from supporting one another and being there for each other and being loyal to a team and staying committed and determined to the ultimate goal of becoming champions. And so I think that helped me a little bit with my transition, but finding my confidence did take a while, especially when I did get hired at NXT, because you just see all these beautiful women and they're gorgeous and they're so confident and they just exude all of this confidence. So it was a battle still for me. But once I kind of, you know, found my footing and my place, I think, in NXT, which I started off next to Dakota Kai. She was so kind to share all of her experience with me and really give me that confidence boost to hone into what I was giving to the group. You know, she was the smart, fast, quick one, and I was the muscle. And as soon as I leaned into the idea of me being bigger and more stronger and being more dominant, it really started to just kind of flow out of me. Like, yeah, this is what God gave me, and I'm going to use it to the best of my ability.
Yeah, I love that. And you know, when you're coming up, and it's not just women, you're surrounded by everybody who has like such different backgrounds, but they're also kind of they have all the similar dream and the similar outcome that they want for themselves. What was it like kind of picking the brains of all these people? You mentioned Dakota, but I think I read somewhere like Undertaker, you really looked up to him at one point. And so what's it like kind of picking the brains of people who you're up in the ranks with, but also superstars?
Oh, girl, I still get shocked when we have my idols come to the PC and like have lessons with us, have chats with us, allow us to ask them questions. There are so many superstars that come back and they give back to the future of WWE. It is absolutely amazing. Undertaker being one of them. He comes to the Performance Center constantly trying to help out the new class in any way that he can. He is so awesome. Same thing with meeting Beth Phoenix for the first time in the Mae Young Classic and then getting to kind of build a relationship with her when she was going through her storyline with Rhea Ripley and I was kind of doing my thing in Elimination Chamber. She's someone I've always looked up to for the same purpose of, you know, she has so much positivity about herself. And when I was younger and I was watching WWE, I was watching Beth Phoenix, I was watching Chyna, and these big, strong, beautiful women were just amazing to me. I was like, yes, they can do it, then that means all of us can do it, you know? And it's been really I just can't think of a word to describe it because I get so starstruck still when they come
Totally.
and we're able to like pick their brains because it's invaluable experience and invaluable feedback that you can't get from anywhere else from these people who have been there and they've done it and they've lived it and they're sharing that with you. It's just really awesome.
And tell me about Chyna. I just remember watching her, and just like you said, like she wasn't Sable, she wasn't these other feminine women, but she was feminine and beautiful in her own right, but she could still kick a lot of ass. So I thought that was really cool too. What was that like to watch her, and not even just from a wrestling perspective, but like her character and still maintaining relationships and everything like that? Unfortunately, of course, she did pass away, but what was it like watching her in the ring?
It was inspiring. It really was because she had so many feuds with men as well. So she really kind of, for me, solidified that idea of, hey, we can hang with the boys too. And when I was watching her growing up, I was always on the blacktop playing basketball and I would go and I would play against the boys. And I think that that has helped me invaluably as well because it's helped me up my level every time. Even at the performance center, getting to be in a male class like Scotty Two Hotties and getting to, you know, soak in all of his experience and all of his knowledge and working with other young men who have years of experience over me and so much knowledge in the ring. It was invaluable information and such amazing learning that I wish I could one day give to someone else because it has really helped me in my career and in my performance overall.
And I think you are already starting. I mean, I know you have a niece who's the love of your life, and I know she definitely looks up to you. And there are other young girls who can see that as well. And it's paving the way because same thing. Like I see women and I'm like, oh, if she can do it, that means I can do it too. What's it been like to inspire young women? Because as you grew up, we're about the same age range. You grew up, there weren't a lot of women that you could really look up to. And that's not to take away from the male mentors that we've certainly had in our life, but that's got to be inspiring as well.
It's, yeah, I mean, I feel like, you know, when I was growing up, I looked up to, of course, like the women's wrestlers who are representing big, strong women, but people also like Selena. I gravitated towards Selena, not only because of her music and our culture, but also because of how she was like a light to everyone. Every time you saw Selena on TV doing interviews, speaking or talking to her fans, she was always so kind and so positive, and people just felt good around her. And you wanted to listen to her more and you wanted to talk to her more because she was just so inspiring and she stayed true to herself as well. And so seeing her go through her journey and her struggle of being a Mexican American, making it into a male dominated world, I was like, yes, this is exactly how I feel like I want to be represented. And then, of course, you know, my sister had a baby girl, and I started to realize very quickly that she copies everything I do. She mimics all of my videos.
Oh, wow.
She wants to dress like me. She wants to dress like the girls on TV. And it's really, really humbling. But at the same time, it puts a pressure on you because you want to keep, you know, your niece in that innocent kind of safe zone. So I want to be something that she looks up to and feels safe around too.
And I think I saw when during your Trish or after your Trish Stratus match, she was kind of like, why did Becky interrupt you? She was very, very much into everything that you are doing in the ring. And I think that that's so cool. Like, Auntie, what happened? That was beautiful. I loved that.
Oh, yes. Every time she calls me, if she falls asleep after Raw, it's totally fine. But she'll call me the next day and she wants to FaceTime and she wants to ask me why Rhea's being such a mean girl because she's met Rhea before. And she used to like Rhea. Now she doesn't like Rhea because she hurt Liv, and Liv is her favorite. She's so into it, so into it. She was in just like awe over Santos Escobar. She was all over him when I took her to SmackDown one time. She got to sit and have lunch with him, and that's all she could talk about to my sister when I got her back to my sister.
I love that. That's great. No, she's getting involved in the storylines too, and I think that that's great. Just to show like what the young demographic is watching as well, and just somebody that you love is great as well. I think being an aunt's like the coolest job ever. Can I just say? I think it's like the best thing. It's so freaking cool. You know, and I want to go back to Rhea because and if you don't like this term, forgive me, but I kind of like this matchup between y'all. You're a bit of an underdog in this scenario. You could possibly dethrone her. When you hear the term underdog, is that something that you embrace?
100%. 100%. I think the underdog is always underestimated. But it's such a good story. It's such a good position to be in, because the only way an underdog can go is up. Like, okay, I am the underdog going into this battle. Rhea has been arguably the most dominant female in WWE's women's division at the moment. I have yet to have my moment, and I think this is my moment. This is my moment to show the WWE universe, to show Rhea Ripley, to show the women's division that I am just, if not more, as dominant as Rhea Ripley, and I can hold a women's title. I've been up here for just over a year right now, and I think this is my biggest match yet in my career. And so I'm so excited for that. And going in as an underdog makes me even more excited.
I can't picture you ever not having confidence after saying that. Like that's really cool. But I think that's what's awesome is like you built up to that, and starting from NXT and even before in the recruiting process. How do you use bits and pieces of that to now you're going to be on the big stage now? Because you don't forget who you once were. And I can sense that about you, because you definitely are authentic and remember where you came from. How do you use those bits and pieces to the big stage now?
It's great because I get to stay in contact with a lot of the people who have been with me through this journey and have helped me through this journey. Like Scotty Too Hottie, for instance, we were just talking the other day, and he messaged me and he said, this is really cool, because he saw where we started off at. And now seeing us be a women's championship match on a premier live event, it's like it's come full circle for him and for us. And I get to take that moment when he's messaging me and reminding me of the past and what we've gone through, and just really feel like, wow, we've really done it. Like either way, going into this weekend, I feel like a winner already, because it has been quite the journey to get to this point, and it's just starting for me. So I have to thank all of my family and friends who keep me humble and support me all the time, because they are constantly on call, just like I am.
Yeah, I love that. And I know you're very close with your family. I think that's really beautiful to see. And even when I told friends like that I was talking to you, like, oh, she seems like the biggest sweetheart. And so I can't wait to actually confirm that with them. And so that's great as well. Bray Wyatt unfortunately passed away recently. I know he made not just an impact on the wrestling world, but you yourself. Talk a little bit about your relationship with him and how much of an impact he made on you.
Yeah, he was such an innovator, and I think that I speak for everyone when I say that. And everything everyone has said about him is true. He was so humble and so kind and so willing to just make you feel comfortable as well, and chat with you if you needed to chat. And his family was beautiful too. I mean, JoJo was just so happy all the time, just so amazing. Every time I could see her backstage, I'd go and talk to her just because she's such a light, and their beautiful kids were just so fun to play with. It's been hard on a lot of people in the WWE community, but I can say that everybody's really come together and just kind of checked on everyone and made sure everyone's okay and handling this in the best way possible.
Watching the WWE community from the outside, I feel like even if it's not anything negative or bad, but just something like this brings y'all so close together. But you guys are so ridiculously close. And I know it's because you guys travel together, you do everything together. That's really got to be amazing. It's like an extension of your family.
It really is. You build relationships with people that they become your sisters. They may not be blood, but they're your sisters and your brothers. And we all go through the same trials and tribulations with the roller coaster that is WWE in our lives. And it's hard being away from your own family. I am very close with my family, as I know a lot of other people are too. And we miss things like birthdays and celebrations and all the other fun things that you should be sharing with your family. We have to miss those sometimes, because we're a sport that goes year round, nonstop WWE action. You can find us 365 days a year. So they do become an extension of your family, and you do build relationships with these people. And it's really cool to know that you always have someone to talk to hug, to go to if you need advice or if you just need to vent, and just someone who has your back.
Yeah, it's really cool to see. Now, before I let you go, I know you were exposed to wrestling early on in your career because of your dad, but you also watched it. So what have you noticed the biggest differences as WWE has evolved? And I'm talking WWF days, and social media has become a thing. What are some of those biggest differences and transitions you've noticed in wrestling compared to then and now?
Oh man, I think some of those biggest transitions have been one, the amount of superstars that we're able to present in front of a WWE crowd on one show. We have so many more superstars these days that have so much talent, and they bring so many different things to the community and to the brand, that it's just fun to watch, because every fan has someone that they can connect with or that they gravitate towards and they really, really like. So I love that we have so much diversity in WWE. And I think also longevity, like a lot of stories are drawn out a little bit more so that you can actually get to know the characters, get to know the people that are being put in front of you, and you build a relationship with them as they form a story with the person that they're, going into a battle with. Like Rhea and I, for example, this has been building up for 4 weeks now. So I know if I'm feeling anxious, there's a lot of people who have connected with me and are feeling anxious too. And don't worry, guys, we're going to do it. It's going to happen this Saturday.
I'm really excited for your match. Good luck. And thank you so much for stopping by. You've been amazing.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been a fun chat, and I'll see you guys Saturday.
Definitely. That was the great Raquel Rodriguez. We, of course, did record this prior to the show, prior to the match. She will face Rhea Ripley in the Women's World Championship at WWE Payback. You can still tune in on Peacock. Thanks to her for stopping by. Jessica Kleinschmidt signing off. Once again, thank you to Philip for just being the best, because he puts up with a lot of my crap, and it's very much appreciated. Keeping this together, keeping it flowing, and doing so with so much professionalism, Philip. You can follow all the content at The Comeback and Awful Announcing. Make sure you're reading, watching, listening to everything there, and subscribe to our YouTube channels. Don't forget to search Awful Announcing and The Comeback TCB. Thanks for being here. We'll see you next time.
Want even more short and to the point? Follow Jessica at KleinschmidtJD and head over to thecomeback.com and awfulannouncing.com.